Catherine and Hayden continued spending time together at Queen Enterprise, a rare moment of calm for Catherine, whose life had been consumed by pressure from the Farrell family. Despite Hayden's cold and composed demeanor, Catherine admired her deeply, at one point, even developing a quiet crush. Many women in Jensburg once felt drawn to Hayden, but Hayden remained distant, uninterested in romantic advances, and focused instead on her responsibilities as the head of the Queen family. Now that everyone knew she was a woman, those old feelings from admirers had shifted into heartbreak and confusion. But Hayden never encouraged any of it. She lived her life with quiet discipline, unaffected by the opinions of others. As the two women talked, Catherine reflected on the complicated dynamics around her. Pedro, loyal and devoted, clearly cared for her, and although Catherine did not deny her own growing affection, she felt too burdened by the turmoil in the Farrell family to let herself think about love. Her mother's increasingly strange behavior, the appearance of the former family head's assistant, and the nearing collapse of her mother's authority left Catherine feeling suffocated. She knew the Farrell family was about to change hands, and she was caught at the center of it all. Hayden, though sympathetic, kept a respectful distance from the internal affairs of the Farrells. She admired Pedro, knowing his devotion was absolute. Once he dedicated himself to Catherine, there would never be another woman for him. He was bound by the rules of his position and by his heart. Hayden even regretted not being able to bring Catherine and her brother Hugh together. To her, Catherine was exceptional, far better than the many confidants Hugh entertained without ever settling down. Catherine recalled how she once admired Hayden romantically, but eventually realized Hayden saw her only as a special friend, not a partner. With that understanding, her feelings had quietly faded, replaced by respect and gratitude. She now saw you as someone charming and surrounded by many female friends, though never entangled deeply enough to call any romance real. You valued his friendships but avoided crossing emotional lines, careful not to mislead anyone. Women admired him, yet he remained steady and untouchable, always maintaining boundaries. Just as Catherine and Hayden were preparing to go out for dinner, Catherine's mother called, demanding she return home. Catherine immediately sensed the urgency. Her mother, Clarissa, had been behaving erratically ever since learning that the old assistant of the former family head was still alive and possibly holding dangerous truths. Catherine knew that her mother's panic was rooted in guilt. Though no one had said it aloud, she had already pieced together the past. Her aunt had died at Clarissa's hands. Clarissa's coldness toward liberty and serenity, her own nieces, was further proof. Unlike Audrey of Wilspoon, who embraced her lost nieces with warmth and joy, she reacted with indifference and fear. Catherine now understood why. Leaving Hayden with an apologetic smile, Catherine headed home, preparing herself for whatever confrontation awaited her. Hayden watched her go, wishing her friend could live free from the crushing weight of her family's legacy. To Hayden, Catherine's status as successor felt more like a curse than a privilege. Afterward, Hayden returned to her own world. She called her brother Yu, instructing him to come home for dinner, where their parents and Kevin were waiting. Yu, who was out enjoying a lively dinner with his many female confidants, hesitated yet ultimately obeyed. Despite his carefree exterior, he understood the unspoken authority his sister carried. Even among friends, everyone knew Hayden's sharp, cold presence was not something to challenge. One of Yu's confidants followed him out, worried because he had been drinking. She offered to drive him, concerned for his safety. Yu softened at her concern, admitting he had wanted to stay out longer but could not refuse Hayden's call home. And so, the night unfolded with Catherine heading toward a tense confrontation at the Farrell mansion, while Hayden and her family gathered around their dinner table. Two families, two worlds, both teetering on the edge of change.